Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. From this 59th International Pfingstsportfest in Rehlingen, we are just getting started here. Currently running is already the shot women's events, as well as javelin throw. Currently in picture you see Sana Polak, currently in the lead in descent with her second attempt, the Olympic champion Tokyo. Really struggling with the condition here. Had a terrible week here in Germany. A lot of rain. Struggling for that lot yesterday. Luckily this event take place. But event organizers, they've done an excellent job to get this running. So here left and moving and crossing evening and afternoon of the track and field. From the event in product. The problem we're having at the moment is the rain. It's been all morning already. We have a delay of say 5 to 10 minutes depending on which event we're in. We're seeing that from seven. Adams, Emot, Christopher, really trying to get back. She was grilled over 60 meter throws and inching close to the medium mark. Low stays here. It's off with just under 6 meters. Don't have to just want you to know we have struggling during morning as well. Conditions are not great for all field events. As for the sprints, it's nice. It's cold here. I can tell it's heavy morning. For running, I suppose conditions couldn't get better at the moment. The rain just stopped. We can see correctly. The air is flushed with oxygen. It's not too hot. And I think what's going to happen is to look for the afternoon. We'll start the second hour 4 meters right now. And just start with 5 with the smaller events and this. And then we'll go towards polling. Late probably as well, since the mattress isn't yet unfolded. It's too wet yet for the chase as well. But with that being said, let's quit the talking around and watch some track and field as it unfolds in front of our eyes. Luise Gerhardt, German athlete, currently in the javelin throw, but we are with the shot putters, and that's Fanny Rose from Sweden. She was 7th at the Olympic Games back in Tokyo. Sorry, I was at the World Champions there. And here is Julia Ritter. She a very, very talented German shot putter. Won everything you can win during her youth. European under-20 champion, World under-18 champion. She was 6th at the European Championships in Munich 2022. Been getting quite well into the season already. Put in 1841 already. Today is not her day yet. Currently at 1792. She can improve a little bit there with that one. 1798. Inching towards those 18 meters, but the shot put event is currently dominated by the lady of Sweden, Fanny Rose. Almost 19 meters, 18.99 for her, as we are back in the javelin throw. Maria Lucas, a young national talent there, still under 20, so 19 years. And that one looked quite promising in the beginning, but kind of slipped away there, 50 meters in that third attempt. So she still standing with 55.62 as we are coming towards the Australian, Mackenzie Milzarek. Not anywhere near her personal record there, but you can see just if you have a look on the track, we just saw it from above. It is wet, it is very wet, and javelin throwers usually don't like the wet. You can see she's not even really trying to risk going all out there. Doesn't quite allow that last step to be powerful with little puddles everywhere. So I suppose we can just hope that it will dry off quite quickly as the rain just stopped, and this event might, pick up some pace towards the end. Now, Rani of India, she's currently in second place. A lady that can definitely throw over 60 meters, as she did already this year, so doesn't look quite as pleased as well. Well, it is unfortunate. Last year we had such great conditions here in Rehlingen. This year it's just not supposed to be, I suppose. But we'll make do, we'll make the best of it, as Anurani can't improve there, and we are looking at the Lithuanian thrower, Liveta Jazinuaite, 54-24 in her second throw. Tries to put that javelin where it needs to be. Kind of soaring up a little bit in a too steep of an angle. Came down rather quickly, 52.90 for her. So no improvement as well. And then we're back with the Olympic champion, Croatian thrower, and this one looked quite well, but also came down rather fast. I'm trying to have a little glimpse towards the stadium from my little cabin here, but it's not winding at all. Not windy at all, so would be perfect conditions for javelin throwing. Just the wet and the cold. These are the perpetrators we have to deal with today. So back to the German, Christine Husson. Second one was without a mark. This one a little more cautious. Tried to stay far away from that line on a third attempt, but I don't reckon this will be an improvement for her today. Her mark 54.82 from the first attempt, 53.27 in that third one. So no improvement at all. But you just can tell by what these ladies have been throwing this season already that we are anywhere close. That we are not anywhere close of what they're capable of. As the rain just picked up again, so it really there's no other way to put it. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a rather depressed mood here today, but I suppose champions are made in these conditions, so we just need to give it a little bit of time as the high jumpers are starting to warm up now. We started at a height of 2 meters. Currently on the runway is Eugenio Meloni, the Italian. A very promising Italian athlete. Been, I suppose, kind of living in the shade of his countryman, the Olympic champion. He's also struggling with the rain here. Doesn't clear the 2 meters in his first attempt. And there's a very obvious facial expression of unhappiness in his face. And it's not easy, obviously. It's not easy for those athletes. They've been traveling a long way to get here to Rehlingen. They've been expecting perfect conditions as always, and they are trying to make do with what they got. As Edgar Rivera, the Mexican jumper, just clears those 2 meters perfectly. So it's just Mateusz Cibilko from Germany left to try and clear the 2 meter mark. But if I am correct, I think he cancelled. Yes, he cancelled the event last minute. So we are back with the Italian. Eugenio Meloni. And then there's a look on the track. Last year we missed it, 100 meter heats. In this event on lane 2 we have Kobe Vlementik of Belgium, second of under 23 European Championships 2019. And on the lane 3, that's the guy we want to look out for. That's the only sub 10 seconds runner from Nigeria, and I'll get it okay, but it's lane 4, Chris Royster, the US American, who will win this first heat with just a little bit of headwind. Chris Royster, 10:34. He will qualify directly. We have 2 heats only. 2 heats of 100 meter men's, and then we'll see the final on at about 5:50 later on this afternoon, as Chris Royster, who's been getting a couple of races in Greece and Cyprus these last 2 weeks, wins his first heat. Ran 10:02 last year. Would be really interesting to see if he can, crack that brilliant 10-second barrier. But this season hasn't been anywhere near that. Been running quite consistently in and around 10:30 throughout the last few weeks. So 10:34 in this heat. No change at all. Still 10:30 races. Enoch Adegoke. He once stood in an Olympic final back in Tokyo. Didn't finish that one, but runs 10:46 here. So not anywhere close to those 9 and 98, those shining sub 10 seconds he once produced. But he'll get a second try, even though I doubt that in these conditions there is a lot, to pull out of here for the sprinters. It's just a little bit too cold. I've just been trying to figure out what's the temperature. Yeah, it's about 16 degrees centigrade here with a little drizzle. So nothing sprinters rather like. And then we have to wait for the second to see who makes the final. As I said, the first of each heat, and then the next 5 quickest for the final at 5:50. So maybe this is an option for you to remind you again that we are currently watching German TV, and I'll try to guide you through this event. Just trying to have a little look. You can see the stadium here, Bungott Stadium in Rehlingen. This event goes way, way back, 59th edition. So almost 60 years of world-class track and field, world-class athletics. And we're looking at the guys for the second heat, while the German TV wants to show Christine Hussong again, the German javelin thrower. Yet no improvement for her. She's in 4th place currently with 54.82 meters. This one goes steep out again, drops fast. But it looks to me as if it was at least a slight improvement from that first attempt she had. Was soaring a little bit over that 55 meter mark, if I think 55.94 for Christine Husong. Moving up to 3rd place here in her 4th attempt, and we're back on track, I hope, since the guys will be in their starting positions already. 2nd heat, 100 meter men's. I'll just, let you know who's running so you know what's happening. There's Franco Florio. He won the South American Championships 2022. And then there's Adam Thomas of Great Britain. He was 5th at the World Indoors back in Glasgow, but you can see I've seen more happy sprinters in my days. Looking at Andre Prazers, Portuguese champion, 10:17 guy. He definitely one to be looking out for. Hasn't got anywhere close to the 10:17 this season. 10:33 for her in the season opener. And then there's another very fast Belgium athlete, Simon Verstraeten. Improved quite a lot as we are looking at Oliver Bromby of Great Britain. Under 23 silver medalist back in 2019. He ran in Italy 4 days ago, just 10:68, Oliver Bromby, so he will want revenge. In the end, it'll all come down to Adam Thomas, season's best of 10:14. He is the one to dictate this race, as Brazos, Verstraeten and Bromby will try to get towards his crown. And they're off. Everything worked well. Brazos got out of the block just a slight bit better, but here's Thomas. But then the Belgium sprinter, Simon Verstraeten, pushes through 10:44, 10:43. Official winning time for Simon Verstraeten. Ran personal best in South America just 2 weeks ago. Can't improve here in our rainy conditions. So Adam Thomas was struggling out the blocks, but got into the race quite quickly, but just couldn't pull it off all the way through. Here's our winner of the 2nd heat, and that means we can have a look at who will qualify for the finals. So it's going to be 3 guys of the first race: Chris Royster, Enoch Adegoke, and Kobe Vlemniks of Belgium. Those are the 3 guys of the first heat. And just a Portuguese sprinter, Andre Prazos, will drop out of that 2nd heat, as we are seeing the first attempt of Jonas Wagner over 2 meters and 5, which he clears quite comfortably. Looking good there on his takeoff. So the high jump competition has been getting along quite well. We got 2, 4, 6 athletes in the event right now. This is Tesvin Shakar of India. Clears it rather relaxed as well. So those are just, first few heights as the guys try to get into this event. Shankar Teyasvin. He's the 3rd of the Asian Championships back in 2023. Been quite coming a long way these last few years. Improving ever since. Still trying to get a 230 jump in. 2:29 his personal best, as Edgar Rivera of Mexico just misses this first jump. And no, I'm sorry, I have to correct myself there. Taking his first jump, obviously not missing it. Not happy with that one, even though he clears it. But as I said, these guys just starting to test out what's possible in these conditions, as the sun is slowly but steadily creeping out of the cloudy skies here in Rehlingen. We'll see if we get dry conditions later this afternoon. We're with the women's javelin throw. Mia Lucas, currently in fourth position, pushed back by Christine Husson in the fourth attempt. We are currently in the fifth attempt. As you can see, the sun's coming out. Mia Lucas tries to get that one out and wide, but it just doesn't go beyond the 50-meter mark, so no improvement for her at all. She'll be left to try one more time. And next up in line will be Anurani, the 7th of the World Championships in Doha. Of Eugene, I correct myself, but this one's just way too steep. Drops like a stone out of the German skies. Not a very quite pleasing flight position for a javelin. Not happy at all. Still quite comfortably in second place though. About half a meter in front of Christine Husson, as the Olympic champion takes her turn. Very consistent 57, 58 meter throws, but this one is absolutely nothing. It's quite hard, a very technical event. You have to find the right angle, the right speed, the right moment. And it's even harder in changing conditions, as we are seeing right now. First the track is wet, now it starts to dry off, then it's raining again. You have no consistency, and therefore you can't really adjust what you're doing. Sarah Kolak still leading though, as Luisa Gerhardt will be the first to open up this last round. Sixth attempt, 47.40. That's the mark which is standing for her. About a meter short of her season's best. She once already threw over 50 meters. But this one was even shorter than 46.34. No improvement for the young German. Here comes the Australian Mackenzie Miltarek, but she as well throws it up like a spear into the sky. It's a javelin, not a rocket, but this one goes up like a rocket and comes down just the same. Way short of 50 meters. Not her event at all. She was capable of throwing almost 53 meters already this season. But today was a day to forget, which is part of athletics as well, these conditions. And we are looking at the 100 meter heats, women's heats, and we're looking at the Olympic champions, the double world champion. We're looking at the big German long jump star, Malaika Mihambo. She will, as she's used to, take the track 100 meters. Very, very good sprinter as well, she is. But there's more ladies in this field than Malaika Mihambo. We have Aziza Spaiti of Lebanon, and then we have Lily Kaden of Germany. And as well in this field is Tiffany Eitner and Rosalie Santos of Portugal, Portugal national indoor champion. She on lane 2, as the German TV obviously focuses on Malaika Mihambo on lane 4. She will be the one to beat as well. The fastest lady in the field didn't quite get out of the block there. Tiffany Eitner is the one who dominates this race, and the lady from Portugal on lane 2, as they finish all rather in one line in their heats. It was Rosalie Santos, the Portuguese national indoor champion, even though the cameras didn't want to see it, but she got off perfectly there, dominated this race from the beginning. Malaika Mihambo wasn't capable of putting her stamp on this race. As the first heat is already done, I'll just let you know. Patricia van der Wecken, the big star of these heats. The lady from Luxembourg, the 7th at the World Indoor Championships over 60 meters. Ran 11:12 already this year. She won the first heat in 11:33. First heat altogether was a little bit faster. Second heat was won in 11:64, which means if we're having a look at this, it'll be Patricia van der Wecken, Delphine Kanza, and Lisa Nipken of the first heat to advance. And the second heat will advance all the way through to Malaika Mihambo. So even though just running 11:77, she'll be able to try again later at about 5:55. I reckon the German TV will be capable of showing us those pictures then. I had quite the same problem last year, kind of missing out on many events because they kept hopping around and missing the events themselves. As we see the 400 meters on track being set up, 400 meter hurdles. That's the next event we see on track. We'll start with the women's. Classic conditions. Not perfect, wet track, but the sun's coming out, and I think our mood has to improve altogether as we are seeing the last and final attempt of Sara Kolak, the Croatian. Ani wasn't able to improve on her sixth attempt, so It is an unchanged situation. Sara Kolak already won this competition with a strong 58.85 on a rainy day. She'll try to get a better attempt in now as the last one. One last try. But this one is a rocket as well. All of them been struggling. All of them don't seem quite as happy as they should be leaving this track here in Rehlingen. It was a harsh competition. It was won by the Olympic champion. It was won by Sara Kolak of Croatia in 58.85. Anurani comes home in second place, 56.07, and then it's the German Christine Husong in 55.94. All these are decent throws, but nothing what those ladies are capable of producing on a good day in perfect shape. So I suppose we just have to take that one to the books, and I'd say forget about it somewhat to see what's possible here on another day. We're in the high jumps, men's high jump. We're at the height of 2 meters and 10 already. All athletes have joined the competition, as we're seeing the sixth throw of Christine Husong. I suppose they wanted to create some kind of tension there, but no improvement for Christine Husong as well. So we're on track for the 400 meter hurdles. Women's, it's going to be 2 races, 2 timed races. The winner will be the fastest of the 2 of them, as we are watching Edgar Rivera of Mexico on his first attempt, 2 meters and 10, and it is bouncing, but it's not bouncing off. He's still in the game. So he'll advance. Tejasvin Shakar has just done the same, and next up is a Polish athlete, Norbert Kobielski. But I would very much appreciate if we could just have a little look at the track. 400 meter hurdles, 2 heats. In this first one, we've got 5 ladies. We've got Lena Wernli, a young Swedish athlete, won the silver medal at European Under-23 Championships last year with the Swiss relay on lane 2. And then there's her countrywoman Anina Farr on lane 3. On lane 4, a very fast Italian runner, Alice Muraro. She'll be the one to dominate this race, if she's in shape. Won the World University Games in Chengdu last year. On lane 5, Elisabeth Sletum of Norway. She as well as sub 56 runner. And then is Karin Disch, another Swiss athlete. We're looking at an interview of Malaika Miambo. I'll just let you know what's happening on track. They got off quite well as they're heading in towards the first corner. And it's Alice Muraro who got off quite the best. Now on the back straight, already at the shoulder of Elisabeth Sletun. But they shot back. They shot back the race after 3 hurdles in the middle of the back straight. I don't know what's happening. I just heard the gun pop. The lady stopped altogether. We are having trouble with the time. A little turbulent now. Very unfortunate for these ladies. Very, very unfortunate. And they were getting off so well. Alice Muraro. And it's not like you don't feel 4 hurdles. You can definitely feel those in your legs as they're striding back. So they'll have to get back to the start and then redo the whole thing, as the other ladies are asking if they can switch heats now. Obviously everybody's prepared. It'll take quite a time to start this second heat again. And I think they're doing it. I think they're changing the heats. So we're watching Malaika Mihambo being interviewed. She won't be all too happy with that first heat. I am just having a quiet look. I didn't say trash. Yeah, Malaika Mihambo, she's gonna be in the final later. She'll try again. Try to do better. But it would be more interesting to have a little image of high jump. We're currently at the height of 2 meters and 10. It's Jeff Vermeijen of Belgium. He unfortunately didn't make it in his first, so he'll have to try again in his second attempt now. Cleared 2:05 in his third attempt only, so was struggling there a little bit, but this one was perfect. Nice and easy. Smoothed himself over the bar, so he'll be advancing to 2 meters and 14. And it's down to Jonas Wagner to follow along, the German. He has to try again as well. Still, the bar is set at 2 meters and 10. And now in the picture, young German. Has a personal best of 2 meters and 27. Which he's definitely capable of. Just jumped 2:25 a couple of weeks ago. It's a very describing picture of the day. Jonas Wagner, and he does it as if it was nothing. So he's on to the next 2 meters 14 for Jonas Wagner as well. And then there's only one guy left, as all the others managed to advance. So 8 people already, 8 people over 2 meters and 10, and it's only Jan Stefala of the Czech Republic. He is trying to encourage the stadium, the people here in Rehlingen, to help him out, and it works out. The sun is coming out, the high jump is starting to warm up, and we are full on with athletics here in Rehlingen. 2 meters and 14. That's the new height. As I'm always having a little eye, I'm just glimpsing down on the track, trying to figure out what the meeting directors have decided, how we will proceed with this 400 meter hurdles event. We'll have a second start. We'll have a second start of that same heat, if I see that correctly. Ladies getting back to their blocks, and we stay excited for what's to come. And we're watching Eugenio Meloni being the first to take on those 2 meters and 14. Seems to be struggling a little more than the others in these conditions. Had to try a second time already, 2 times. Not very confident in his attempts. The Italian. He once was European under-23 bronze medalist, but that was way, way back in 2015. His glory days hasn't been getting anywhere close to that in men's events, as he's asking for the people to help him out here in Rehlingen. And this is a very, very utterly informed crowd here in Rehlingen every year. It's all the same. They come out even though we have terrible conditions. Eugenio Meloni asking for his proper rhythm, and the people follow along. As the picture just froze. Eugenio Meloni, 2 meters 14, and he misses that one. Just too close to the bar, as he was with 2 meters and 10. A little too excited there once he gets closer. But he's capable to adapt. He's proven earlier. And the sun is out, and we're back on track. Second attempt, 400-meter hurdles here in Rehlingen. Second attempt for Lina Wernli, Anina Farr, Alicia Muraro, Elizabeth Sletun, and Karin Disch. And we remember Alice Muraro on lane 4. She was the one to set the pace in their first try. Can she do it again? Can she push off hard out of the blocks? And here they go. As they hit the first hurdle, this time everything went well with the timing. And it's a little more balanced now. It's the Norwegian, Sletum, who's the first down the back straight. But here comes Alice Muraro. And she's looking strong down the back straight. Now 200 meters to go for the Italian. Now on the shoulder of Elizabeth Sletum. Urging past her. And the inside, it's still Anina Farr, who also tries to get along there. As I'm trying to look around the corner since I don't have a picture myself. Looking as they come down the home stretch. And it looks to me as if it's still the Italian. 2 more hurdles to go. And she's up ahead about 5 meters. Alice Muraro. And we have a look at the time. 54, 55, 56, 72. That is a decent run by Alice Muraro, but nothing to blow your mind away. Was struggling down the back corner a little bit. Had the feeling she didn't quite trust herself there. Came home rather strong compared to her contestants. 56.71, and then it's the Norwegian Elizabeth Sletum. She runs 58.10, and the young Swiss athlete. Now I have to correct myself. Anina Farr, is it? Who came in third, 58.24. So those are the results for the first heat, 400 meter hurdles. As we are still watching interviews. Let's see. High jump men's Jess Sandesh of India. He also didn't clear 2 meters and 14, and it's Jeff Vermerian who will try now. Standing way, way back. Starting his run. Nice and easy loping strides for the Belgium jumper, and he was over that. He was definitely over that one, but just kicked it off, clipped it off with his heel. He'll be trying again next time. Looked rather smooth, actually. The height was definitely there. Couldn't bring it all the way home. Next up then, the German, Jonas Wagner, to try 2 meters and 14. Let's have a look at 400-meter hurdles women's again, as we finally have a picture of the high jump, men's high jump, Jonas Wagner, in his first attempt. And I can hear the whistle in the background, which means the ladies are getting into their blocks, as we see Tejaswin Shankar in his first attempt, 2 meters and 14. Quite some fast ladies in this second 400-meter hurdles event. Melanie Böhm of Germany, a young German athlete. Then there's Hanne Klaas of Belgium. Won the whole set of medals with the 4x4 of Belgium. Strong sprinter, also over the flats, as we are seeing Pauline Chokuyut. She is her countrywoman, she as well. Part of the 4x4 team of Belgium, was 7th in Tokyo in the relay. She is the European Under-23 champion of 2019, Pauline Chokuyut. And then there's a very fast German in the middle of them, Eileen Demis. She's probably the next big thing of Germany. Had a very great start into her season. Was 4th at World Under-20 Championships back in 2016 over this event. But started off her season very well in Pliezhausen. Running on lane 4. So it's going to be 4, 5, and 6. Or will it be lane 3? Will it be Hanne Klaas who makes this race? Belgium, Germany, or Belgium, and the 3 of them are really going off hard. All rather at the same height right now. Eileen Demis pushing towards the shoulder of Pauline Chokuyut. As you can see now, the German inching towards her. And they will exit this last corner as it gets to the very hard part now. It's a long burn up over the last 2 hurdles. Come towards the last 100 side by side, but it's still Chokuyut in front. And the Portuguese, Diallo, will try to push again, but no, it's the Belgium. It's the Belgium, Pauline Chokuyut, 55.86. Was getting quite a lot of pressure of Eileen Demis throughout the corner. Managed to just creep towards her shoulder, but the lady of Belgium, she just had the stronger finish there, down the back straight, down the home straight. Pauline Chokuyut to win this event in 55.83 official time. And that is something to present on a wet track here in Rehlingen. Meeting record for Pauline Chokuyut. Astonishing run. Seemed to be struggling quite a lot down the second corner, but played her energy rather well. and finished brilliantly. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the sunshine coming back to Germany. And I wouldn't have believed it if you told me earlier that we will get sunshine here today. It was just nasty, nasty conditions. As we are with the men's high jump, still 2 meters and 14. Now the second attempt, and it'll be Eugenio Meloni, the first to try again. A height he really, really has to manage. He has it in his legs. He's been proven often enough. And it looked quite well, but it just doesn't seem that he gets all the way out there. His takeoff not as explosive as it should be. 2:14. 1 attempt left for the Italian. Next up then, the Indian, Jesse Sandesh, in his second attempt. Taking a long, long time there to prepare himself. As he's being whistled away. And that's because the first of 2 heats, 800-meter men's, will advance right now at the moment. That's the B finale. Rather local run. One Swiss athlete, Louis Laubier. OK Charles will be the rabbit in this race. And then there's Fabian Schoen and Emil Megle as they settle in down the back straight. We're still watching Jesse Sandesh getting prepared. And it's Emil Megle in the 800 who takes the lead, follows along the rabbit, be the first to clinch in there. We're having a quick look at the time, coming down the home stretch now for the first time. Emil Sandesh in his second attempt misses it, and OK Charles does a great job coming through 51 blank, and it's Emil Megle who tries to stick the round there, but there's still a little daylight between him and the pacemaker as he's trying to close that gap now. It's Emil Megle all the way down the back stretch. He's all alone for himself now. And right behind him is Robin Oyster of Switzerland. And then Louis Laubier. That's the 3 of them. That's the 3 who are in this final now. As they hit 200 meters to go. Still the same picture. Still Emil Megle. But now comes the attack of Robin Oyster, who's trying to swing around on the shoulder of Megle. Now I don't see them as well. I have to wait till they come back down the last 50 meters. And it's Megle, Oyster, or Laubier. And it's Oyster who pushes through down the last meters. Robin Oyster just ahead of Louis Laubier, who could just inch around Emil Megle there to take the second place in this first race over 800 meters. 1:48.26. That's the time we got while we are mainly listening to interviews. It was rather unfortunate, to be honest. I came here chatting a little bit about athletics, presenting you with some great track events and even greater field events. But you can't see them, so I kind of keep speaking for myself. But I do my best to continue doing that, I suppose. I mean, I could translate interviews if you want, as we are seeing Jan Stefala, jumper of the Czech Republic, missing his second attempt over 2:14 as well. And then next up there will be the grand finale over the 2 laps. 800 meter men's final. The A race. And there's a bunch of brilliant athletes within this field. It's quite promising. We got Tobias Gronstad of Norway. Ran 1:50.45.06 in Karlsruhe, all by himself, pushing in that race from the first second he stepped into it. He really wants to run under 1:44.5. That's what he told us then, and he's here to prove that, I suppose. Eugenio Meloni, his third and last attempt over 2 meters and 14. And he takes a long time as well, has to leave the track there again. It's all a little wet still. They're bringing out towels to dry off the takeoff zone of the high jump area. As the 800 meter boys are standing on the line, trying to get ready, they are being introduced to the stadium. Here in the picture is Louis Oberbeck, very fast German runner. German national champion. And then to the left, hitting his shoulders, running out of the picture, that's Tobias Gronstad. That's the guy to look out for in the Nike dress. But then there's also Ethan Jose, the one on lane 4. Outside of lane 4, he was the second of the U23 championships back in Finland over the 800 meters. And all the way on the outside, rocking that on outfit on lane 6. Now in the picture, that's Mohamed Attawi. He was second at under 23 European championships over the 1500 meters. So quick guys here, really pushing. Now you see in the picture Raman Vipfli, young Swiss athlete. And we have Miron from Spain. Then the fast Kenyan runner, Aaron Keme Cheminingwa, Ethan Jose, James Preston, 4 times New Zealand champion, Tobias Kronstadt, Louis Oberbeck, Marvin Heinrich, another German athlete, and his teammate Malik Skupin Alpha, and then last but not least, Mohamed Atawi. Pace is set to go fast, very fast. They want to have a 55. So it's set to go under 1 minute and 45 seconds if they pick it up. And the race is on. You can see Tobias Kronstadt on the inside there, the big Norwegian guy really trying to push off hard, wants to get that first spot right behind the pacemaker. And then it's Ethan Jose. And on the inside, in the yellow dress, that's Preston, the guy from New Zealand. As they're settling in, pace up ahead is fast, very fast, and it's Cheminingwa of Kenya. Jose on the outside, Tobias Kronstadt tries to keep that gap open. Khaled Ben Madi, the rabbit, putting everything he got in this race. And it's Aaron Keme Cheminingwa to hit the bell first. But what can they do out of that 50.9? That's the split through 400 meters. And now they're coming down the back straight. Cheminingwa still ahead. Just a little bit of daylight on Tobias Kronstadt, but he can finish strong. We saw that in Karlsruhe. And then it's James Preston on the inside in the yellow dress. Jose just falls back there down the back straight. Kronstadt now inching closer to the Kenyan. Swinging wide, looking for that shoulder. If Cheminingwa turns around now, he sees Tobias Kronstadt. A massive athlete. And here comes the attack of the Norwegian. But can Cheminingwa hold that back? As they hit the last 100 meter, Preston tries to find a little gap there in the middle. And he pushes through, he surges through. Down the middle, it's going to be close. And it's James Preston. No, it's Cheminingwa. No, it's Preston. And it's going to be Preston to take that win. What a race these last 20 meters. James Preston of New Zealand has had an incredible season so far. And he takes the win in 1:45.17. Hard racing down the home straight. Very hard racing down the home straight. Ran 1:44.87 this year already. He had it in his legs. He waited for the gap and he took it. Tobias Kronstadt is being defeated there by the young Swiss runner, Ramon Wipfli, on the last meters as well, who will definitely come home with a new personal record himself. James Preston, 1:45.17. Cheminingwa, 1:45.23. And then Wipfli with new personal record of 1:45.38. Great racing by the three of them. Very unfortunate for Tobias Kronstadt. He was looking so powerful 1 week ago in Karlsruhe. But he has to take this defeat today. Over the 800 meters, as the picture is back with the high jump. We're back with the Mexican. We're back with Edgar Rivera in his third and last attempt over 2 meters and 14. And he misses this one as well. So it's down to 6. 6 athletes still in the race, and we will advance to 2 meters and 18. I will get back to the athletes as we get closer to the final rounds, I suppose. Just want to keep an eye out on the track events as well, as the sprinters are getting prepared for the 400 meter races. Next up will be 400 meter women. It's going to be 2 races again, just like it was with the hurdles 2 timed races. Total of 11 athletes here in the field. Very internationally packed. I mean, we have to be quite honest, it's all about Olympic Games this year. It's all about Olympic Games and the way you can qualify for them. I mean, we remember the point system. This is an European Athletics silver meeting. There's quite a lot of points to gain here, so it's rather interesting for a lot of athletes and international athletes to get in those fields, to get in those events, to collect a few points towards the Olympics. And then for all the Europeans, it's also the European championships this year in Rome, just a little under 3 weeks away. And as there was the option to qualify over rankings, that is not possible anymore because the fields are already too full. So there's only the European Athletics standard left to get into those events. And it was just missed by a 1/10 of a second by Raman Vipfli. 1:45.20, that's the European standard. So even though he runs a new personal record, that was no ticket for Rome, as the ladies are getting ready on track for their first run over the 400 meters. So just to keep in mind, maybe out there, 51:50, that's the time we're looking out for here for European Championships. 50.95 would be the time for the Olympics, but I think that would be a little far reached. A rather tall order for the ladies we got in this race right now. 51:50, not easy, but with a new personal record for one of those, it might be possible. Got 3 Germans, a Swiss athlete and a Canadian. Brenda Kataria Bill on lane 2, Julia Niederberger of Switzerland on lane 3. As they head off, Hanna Mergenthaler on lane 4. Very promising German talent. And then Elisa Lechtleitner on lane 5. And even more promising German talent. And then Madeleine Price of Canada. She will be running on the outside lane. And it's quite clearly Madeleine Price, the first to take the lead in this 400-meter race. Surging into that second corner with a gap of about 20 meters. But the others now gaining strength on her and gaining meters, as we don't see a picture because we are watching high jump. And it's still Madeleine Price in front with 50 meters to go. But it's gonna be close, but it's Madeleine Price to take the win in 52.64 seconds, just ahead of Hanna Mergenthaler of Germany. I have to correct myself. Of Julia Niederberger of Switzerland, who comes home in second, and then it's Elisa Lechtleitner. And then it will be Hanna Mergenthaler, I recall. And then it's Jonas Wagner again. His first attempt, 2 meters and 18. I was just informed that it's kind of sad you don't have a stadium sound as well. They cut us out of that one, I suppose. So all you got is my sad and lonely voice. Let's try that again. Jonas Wagner, 2 meters and 18 centimeters. And it looked good, but not good enough for the German. Can't clear the bar on that one. 2 more attempts left. for him. And we're getting some pictures of the shot put event. Women's shot put was taking place earlier. We just got a glimpse of that one in the live footage. That was Fanny Rose, the winner of the shot put event earlier. And on track, we're getting prepared for the second 400-meter run. And there they are. And that's going to be the faster one. So we try to remember again. 51:50. That's the time to beat. In the picture right now, that's Elisa Schmidt. She was 7th with the German mixed relay at the World Championships last year. Ran quite well here last year as well. We'll try to do the same now. And the conditions have improved quite a lot since the sun's coming out. In the picture here is Luna Buhlmann, another German athlete. She was a big talent of Germany in her youth. The German national champion of 2019. Was 5th with the German 4x4 relay at the Olympic Games, together with Elisa Schmidt. That was the two Germans. But then there's also Michelle Gröbli of Switzerland. They were 4th with the relay in Tokyo. And then Helena Ponnet on lane 2 of Belgium, the 5th of the World Championships with the Belgium relay team. And then there's a very fast Portuguese sprinter, Katia Azevedo, on lane 5. Katia Azevedo, the undefeated 400-meter queen of Portugal. Many times national champion, as it's a very evened out race throughout the first corner. And they're still pacing down the back straight. It's Elisa Schmidt closing down just a tad on Katia Azevedo now. And on the inside it's Helena Ponnet, the lady of Belgium, who's trying to push through that second corner now, all shoulder to shoulder. Elisa Schmidt just a little bit ahead, but here comes Scotty Shear on lane 3. And Helena Ponnet, I don't know why we're looking at Elisa Schmidt. Helena Ponnet, she's the one who's taken that race. And the question is, what's the time going to be? 52:44 for the Belgium. Just a second slower than a personal record is. And just a second off the European standard. Quite close race through the second corner, but it was the lady of Belgium who took the race, and she can improve her season's best with that one by about 0.2 of a second. Helena Ponnet taking the win here today in Rehlingen, taking the points with her as well. Just in front of Scotty Shear, running 52:68. And Elisa Schmidt 52:96. So she's just around where she was beginning of her season. couldn't quite improve. Ran 52.95 indoors. So still around that same condition in the moment. As you can see in the picture now, the pole vaulters getting ready with quite a bit of delay. They were supposed to start way earlier, but they waited a long time to dry off the mattress and the runway to avoid any stronger injuries. So we're having a quite pleasant look of the area around here. It's not too populated, not too overcrowded. It's actually rather, countryside-ish. But it's very beautiful. A lot of nature. Seeing a national coach of Germany in the interview, but I don't even have the audio to provide for you guys. Let's have a look at the times of that 400-meter women's race. Elena Panet, 52.41, as I said. Then Scotty Shear, 52.68, in front of Elisa Schmidt, 52.96. Then it was the Portuguese champion, Katia Azevedo, 53.35 for her. And then Luna Buhlmann, 53.89. So, altogether, not the fastest of races. Helena Ponet with a new national lead and a new season's best, 52.41. Quite decent, but still a second off her personal best. She won't be all too happy with that one as well. But I guess it's dusted off and on to the next one, especially for the sprinters. It is still a week left for European Championships. Next Sunday is the deadline to qualify for Rome. As you can see, the hurdle's been set up, but we're getting closer to the 100-meter men's final as well. 7 athletes will be in that field. As we're watching the Indian athlete Tejaswin Shakar, second attempt, misses it as well. So he'll be forced to go on to the third as well. 3 athletes managed to clear 2 meters and 18. It's the Polish athlete Norbert Kobielski, Jan Stefala of the Czech Republic, and Jonas Wagner, the German. And it's down to Nathan Ismar of France, Tejaswin Shakar of India, and Jeff Vermeiden of Belgium to try again. And the first to try is Nathan Ismar now with his last attempt over 2 meters and 18. It is so sad. Since the 100-meter men's final is on the line and we have a picture. Great. Brilliant. We're seeing it. We got 7 athletes in the field. On lane 1, that's Oliver Bromby of Great Britain. Next to him, Kobe Flemenchik, 5th-time national champion of Belgium. And then we have the fastest in the heats, Simon Farrestraten. He as well is from Belgium. 6th of the European Championships back in Munich with the 4x1 relay. In the middle on lane 4, that's Enoch Adegoke, the only sub 10 seconds runner. Olympic finalist of Tokyo, the man of Nigeria. 10:46 in the heats. And next to him, he as well won his heat, Chris Royster. 10:34 his time, the US American. And then we stopped showing you the guys. On lane 6 is Franco Florio, the man of Argentina. And all the way on the outside, Thomas Adams. Enoch Adegoke not really had the best of heats. He will try to revenge himself. He's capable of running under 10 seconds, but that was a long time ago. He's been creeping around 10.1. As they take off, and Simon Farrestraten, who takes off best, but Chris Royster had a strong finish in the first one. Can he do it again? But it's Simon Farrestraten on lane 3, but it was rather close. Chris Royster came down the last 10 meters, managed to get back, had the strongest finish there. It's gonna be close. Simon Farrestraten looked for me as if he was in front there throughout most of the race, but it was Chris Royster to take the win in 10:29. Managed to just get ahead of the Belgium athlete just over the last meters. You see how close that was, and then the last 10 meters it was Chris Royster to push himself ahead to take the win in 10:29 in front of Simon Farrestraten, 10:33. And then it was the man of Argentina, Franco Florio, 10:34. Kobe Flemenchik, 10:39, so rather close then. And Enoch Adegoke has been beaten badly in this race. 10:41 for the Nigerian Thomas Adam, 10:53. And Oliver Bromby comes home in last in 10:62. New personal record for Simon Farrestraten. 10:33 equals his old personal record, which has been standing previously, but definitely proves that he's in good shape. Still rather young, just 26 years old. The man of Belgium, who wins this 100-meter final. And we're seeing Elisa Schmidt, who was just in the 400-meter women's race. Couldn't win it, but ran quite decent, 52.96 her time. Was third, therefore. And we can see that the men's javelin throwers are preparing themselves as well. Conditions way better than they were for the women's, and we see the starting list of the women's 100-meter final with Malaika Mihambo, Lily Caden, Delphine Nkanza of Belgium, Lisa Nipken, the German, Patricia van der Wecken, Rosalina Santos of Portugal, and Tiffany Eitner of Germany. And we try to recall the heats. It was Rosalina Santos on lane 2 who won the second one, rather courageous, and the favorite, Patricia van der Wecken of Luxembourg, who dominated her first heat. Time stands at 11:33 of the first heat. That's the time of Patricia van der Wecken. As we are having a closer look at Malaika Mihambo, she didn't quite get where she could be in that first one, 11:77 in the first. So we should rather look out for lane 5. That's Patricia van der Wecken. And lane 6, Rosalina Santos. As we're having a look at Delphine Kanza and Lisa Nipken. So on lane 2 right now, waving at you, that's Lily Caden, European Under-23 champion. On lane 4, Delphine Kanza. She was 6th at the European Championships with the Belgium 4x1. Now in the picture, Patricia van der Wecken. He was about 15 times Luxembourgian champion. She won the European Team Championships last year, as well as the World University Games. And then, as I said, Rosalina Santos, she Portuguese champion over 200 meters, won the National Indoor Championships over 60 meters this year, managed to get in shape just in time for the Olympic Games. The Polish. The question stands, can she try to provoke Patricia van der Wecken in this final? And they're off. And it's Patricia van der Wecken who comes off quite well, but it's also Delphine Kanza. Tries to hold on there. Rosalia Santos not in the picture. Patricia van der Wecken, 11:32. Unofficial. With just a slight bit of headwind. 11:31 officially. That's her final. She can improve just a tad bit from her heats. It's then Delphine Kanza, 11:50. To take home second place. And in third it was Malaika Mihambo, 11:60. She as well can improve. You can see great start from Malaika Mihambo, the Olympic champion. But no trouble at all for Patricia van der Wecken. All the way from the start, dominated this pack to take the win. Rosalina Santos wasn't able to produce the same shock she did in the heats. 11:63 for her. So, predictable finale. Stefan der Wecken to take the win. Not quite the fastest times we saw here today, but that is also due to our conditions, especially the temperature now, since the rain is gone and the sun has come out. It's still just about 16 degrees warm, and we all know sprinters don't like the cold. As we're having a look at Jonas Wagner in his third and last attempt over 2 meters and 22. It's only Norbert Kubielski of Poland who managed to surpass 2 meters and 22. Polish champion and European bronze medalist of 2019, but it was Jonas Wagner, as you saw, to manage to soar over those 2 meters and 22. He's getting rather close to his personal best of 2 meters and 27. So next up will be 2:26. That will be a new season's best for him, and just 1 centimeter short of his personal record. And the only person left to try will be Jan Stefla of the Czech Republic. Here he goes. And that was it. Couldn't get closer to his personal record. He managed to jump 2 meters and 30 this year already, but he wasn't capable of doing so here today in Rehlingen, so he will be out of the race, and we are down to 2. Norbert Kobielski and Jonas Wagner. 1 Pole and 1 German. Norbert Kobielski, definitely the more experienced jumper of the two of them. Had a rather clean competition so far, only missing 2:22 once. Everything else clean and easy in the first attempt. Jonas Wagner has been struggling from the beginning, but he's still in the race. Has about 5 jumps more than the Polish. But you never know what happens in the high jump. But it's definitely an event of David against Goliath. Norbert Kobielski, the 7th of the World Indoor Championships back in Glasgow this spring. He was 5th at European Indoor Championships last year. As I said, the European Under-23 bronze medalist of Sweden 2019. He a very experienced international jumper. And then we have Jonas Wagner, the young German, managed to be 2 times German indoor champion already, but has little experience on the big international stages. And yet here he stands, 2 meters and 26 against Norbert Kobielski, and he looks poised to do something great today. And it's on him as well to go and try. He has to start. He's the one to kick it off. 2:26, taking his time there, as they're just taking away the cone and clearing the mattress. And that's the moment where definitely the nerves of an athlete are soaring high. You know, you're just so close, not just to win this event obviously, but for him it's also a question of points, maybe for the Olympics, and obviously it's a question of European Championships. 2 meters and 26, that's the European standard, that's the height he needs to go to Rome, and this might be his last chance to do it. Jonas Wagner misses his first, and you have some respect. That's the benchmark you need to cross. 2:26 for Rome. But he's been inching towards every height so far, so he'll definitely be able to do that again on the 2:26. Now it's Norbert Kobielski. He'll be trying for the first time, and he clears that one nice and easy. Rather relaxed. Didn't really take long. He's done and did it. That will be a new season's best for the Polish athlete, and obviously for him as well. The ticket for Rome, needed that one. His season's best was 2:25 as well. So with a little under 3 weeks to go, he can dream of jumping in the ancient city of Rome. Track and field has been pushed out of Rome these last couple of years, ever since Diamond League wasn't held in Rome anymore. Moved to Florence for renovation of the stadium. And now track and field is coming back. And so will be Norbert Kobielski. But the question is, can Jonas Wagner equal him up here over 2:26? His second attempt. And here he goes. He had the height on that one, I suppose, but needs to be a little more explosive there to get over that. Tipped it off with his ass. One down, one left to go, one more try. But you can see the confidence in his eyes. You can see he's determined. And he did it in his third over 2:22, and then maybe he'll be able to do it in his third over 2:26. As on track, we are seeing that the 400-meter men's hurdles are set up to go. A lot of things happening here at once in Rehlingen. We have just begun with the pole vault men's competition. 2 jumpers already cleared 5:07 as we move on. It's going to be still quite a long time till everybody joins this pack and everybody joins this event, so we still have some time to relax at that front. It's rather more interesting to see what Jonas Wagner does in his last attempt now. And he misses that one. We don't have a picture of that one. It is so sad. You can bet for me the same as for you. No picture for Jonas Wagner's last attempt over 2 meters and 26, and that means it's just Norbert Kobielski left in the event, and he will be able to do whatever he wants with this competition. But it looks to me as if he sets the bar at 2:29, so he will just try to move on forward. Olympic standard is a little higher than that. Is 2:33, but maybe he doesn't seem to have that in his legs yet, even though his personal record is at 2:33. But he's still discussing a little bit, so he might actually try. I will try to keep you informed on that one. As on track, the first of 2 heats, 200-meter hurdles men's, is getting into their starting positions. And they're off. And it's Abdelmalik Ololohou of Algeria, as well as Giacomo Bortencelli of Italy, and David Delgado Jesus of Spain. Danny Brandt, fast Swiss runner. And then there's Vit Müller of Czech Republic. And they're all rather cramped together down the second curve, pushing down the home stretch. And it's Müller in front, the man of the Czech Republic, on lane 6. 2 more hurdles to go. But it's close. It's very close. And it's gonna be Giacomo Bortencelli on lane 3, just stumbling over that last hurdle and stumbling in front in a very, very close call, 49.35 for the Italian, just and tad in front. Jesus David Delgado of Spain and Wittmüller of the Czech Republic. Both of them just hundreds of seconds away. 49.35, 49.44, 49.46. And Norbert Kobialski has set the bar at 2 meters and 30, but missed his first attempt. You saw that in the picture. I just recalled watching the few track races we got. Might be a little interesting. And now we're on to javelin throw, men's javelin throw as well. Currently being led by Simon Wieland of Switzerland. Throwing 72.77. But we're sticking with the high jump. We're sticking with Norbert Kobialski. His second attempt, 2 meters and 30. He still has one left. But it doesn't seem to me as if he has the height in his legs today anymore. Struggling on that second one as well. And the camera is still sticking with Norbert Kobielski, even though in the background I can hear that the athletes of the 400-meter hurdles men's final are being introduced to the crowd, which is again rather unfortunate from my perspective. And this race will be rather interesting from a German perspective. Again, it's obviously a big topic, Rome. So it'll be one of the last chances for these guys to run the European standard of 49.30. But then some of these guys have quite a lot of international experience as well. And they definitely have the chance to have a go in Paris in summer, if they manage to collect enough points or even run 48.70 flat, which would be the Olympic standard for 400-meter hurdles over for the men's. And now finally in the picture you see them 5 all together on lane 2. You see Julian Bovin. He was the 7th at the European Championships in Munich. Now in the picture that's Emil Agiekum. He won the silver medal at European Under-23 Championships back in 2021. Guy of Berlin running on lane 5. On the inside lane, on lane 4, his German countryman Joshua Abuako. He was the 8th the World Championships of Doha. As I'm speaking, you can see him. And then on lane 3, a third and fast German, 3 times national champion, running with a bandana, the white bandana on lane 3, that's Konstantin Preis. So 3 Germans in the middle and 1 fast Swiss runner on lane 2 to hunt them all. And they take off. Little German championship, and it's Julian Bovin who really surges ahead there through the first 2 hurdles. Abuaku already at the shoulder of Ayekum, pushing through. So it's down to Abuaku or Bovin, who will take this race to the finish line. Abuaku looking strong, started the season in Blitzhausen, there with a little tumble at the 5th hurdle, but he manages to get quite clear today. And they're head on head. Coming to the last hurdle now, Bovin or Abuaku. And it's Bovin just a tad ahead as Constantine Price tries to push in from the back. And here was Joshua Abuaku after the last hurdle, finishing strong to run 49.42. That is a strong, strong race of Joshua Abuaku. 49.39. Here's a official finish. Therefore missing out on the European standard, but he has that one already from last season, so can be rather comfortable there. Just prove that he still had it in his legs. And Constantine Price as well, running a great race there from the back, managing his energy well. Could surge down the last 20 meters to surpass Bovin and take 2nd place in 49.48. The Swiss ran 49.54. And as you can see, whilst the high jump women are preparing themselves, the steeplechase is being set up. Next up will be 3,000 meter steeplechase. Just one run for the men's, and quite promising that is, as we're having a first glimpse of the 2nd attempt in the men's javelin throw. That was Amine Lapti of Germany. Incomplete throw in the first try. This one at least was good, but it wasn't quite far. 68.38. His throw, try to get a little improvement there. Was able to throw over 70 meters already this year. Next up then, Rémi Conroy of France. He's a current national champion of France. Personal record at 78.97. And it's from this year, so he's just in shape for this European and Olympic season. European qualifier will be 83 meters. And this one soars wide again. No improvement for the Frenchman, who threw 70.92 in the first. This one was just under 70 meters. The competition currently being led by Max Dening, German, the world under 20 champion, silver medalist of Cali 2022, and the European under 20 silver medalist of Jerusalem 2023. But first up will be Simon Wieland, the Swiss champion. trying to get back to his shape. He was just scratching the 80-meter mark just a few years ago. This year, just in and around 74 meters. This one didn't even surpass the 70-meter mark by a lot. 66.76 for him. And then we're having a look at Manu Quigeron, the Spanish. Had quite a good winter actually. Came in third at the European Winter Throwing Cup. Already had a few throws over 80 meters this season. He is well struggling here in these difficult conditions in Rehlingen. Seems to me as if they're all not quite happy with the slight wetness and still cold we got here, as we're having a glimpse of Leandro Ramos of Portugal. With his second attempt. The first one was unfortunately incomplete, of the European Under-23 silver medalist of 2021. Lunges himself there far and wide, and this soars quite well. Looks to me as if it was well over 75 meters. He's happy as well. Putting everything he got there into the throw. Nice and high, but it was soaring quite well. 76.86 for Leandro Ramos. Big improvement, obviously, from this incomplete throw in the first attempt. Moves himself up to second place in this competition, and it's down to Georgi Herceg of Hungary, who as well wasn't able to get a mark yet in this competition. And this one looked way better for the reigning European Under-20 champion. A guy who threw far over 80 meters already. Very young athlete, 2004 he was born. Also using that lunging technique. Just over 70 meters. Not what he can produce, but it's a start to build upon in this competition. And here is Lassi Eteletolo of Finland. Already threw a new season's best of 76.69. Improving by 1 centimeter. This one was incomplete. Set a foot there over the line. Couldn't stop in time, but really couldn't get this one right into the air as he wanted it. And then it's the guy in the lead. It's the big all-time favorite of this competition, Max Dening. He threw over 90 meters this season already. He was second at the World Under-20 Championships back in 2022, as I said, and second at the European Under-20 Championships back in 2023. He improved quite a lot this year. 90 meters and 20 centimeters for Max Dening, as we are seeing the starting list of the 3,000 meter steeplechase finale, which has suffered a little bit since a few of the athletes stepped out of the race just last minute. One of them was Tim van der Velde. He would have been big favorite in this race. But it's still enough guys left for fast times. We have Frederik Ruppert in this field. Just ran 8:17 in Huelva the other day. He's in excellent conditions. Trying to gain some points here for the Olympic Games. Still missing a few marks. Had trouble with injuries the last year. So he needs to catch up on some races, I suppose, as they head off. "17 athletes in total. It's supposed to be quick. It's supposed to go anywhere near 8:15 if the pace is capable of getting them there. It's going to be Lawrence Kemboy Kipsang who is responsible for pacing this field. 8:15 means we need about 66 laps. And you can see right from the start, Frederik Ruppert is there at the shoulder of the pacemaker in front of the field. He will have no other choice than to try and take this race on from the front. Since there's not too many 8:15 runners left to help him out. And we will have to have a look as this race unfolds. Ruppert trying to get a good look there at the barrier, the first water jump, as they all clear it quite happily, and it's shins on the inside. Coming around at this 800-meter mark with the Algerian Hichim Bouchicha right at the shoulder of Frederik Ruppert. And the pace was rather alright. Might have been a little bit slower than 2:45. And you can see how the Algerian Bouchicha has noticed it, tries to push towards the pacemaker. Frederik Ruppert takes that present rather happily, I suppose. Trying to get a little bit in a comfortable rolling position, autopilot. We have Remy Shins of Belgium and a blue and yellow dress there on 5th position right now. Also sitting there rather comfortably. As Robert Kemboy Kipsang still on his rabbit duties. Nice picture of the water jump there. Frederik Ruppert dropping just a little bit back there. Bilal Tapti in a 2nd position. The 2nd Algerian. 2 of them now right behind the pacemaker. Both of them 8:20 runners. looking to gain on their personal records. But Chicha always right at the shoulder of the pacemaker, trying to signal him, we really, really, really have to go on, get this race on going, go fast. It is obviously not easy to run an Olympic standard. And the Olympic standard stands at 8:15. So that's the time we are currently looking to get to. I was trying to get a list to see if I can figure out what's happening here. I've been kind of left alone there, so now I'm with you on the race. So we have Bucica still in the front, right behind the pacemaker. Then it's Remy Schins of Belgium. And then there is Jacob Butera, Norwegian athlete, as they just went through the 2,000 meter mark. And we're kind of off pace. We're just a little tad off the 5:30 we were looking for. But nothing that can't be fixed. So it's 2 times Algeria, it's Tapti and Bucica, then it's Butera, and then on 4th place, that's Frederik Ruppert in that pack, as the pacemaker left this field, and Remy Schins of Belgium has taken control of the race, trying to push, putting a surge on now, trying to get back to the pace they originally wanted. Bucica falling back there. Frederik Ruppert swinging around wide to try and stick with the front. Remy Schins doing a good job to increase the pace again. And here comes Frederik Ruppert with a surge all of a sudden. A slight moment of courage who got into his veins. Now pushing to the front. And it's Jacob Butera who takes the hint and comes along with him. And if you have to do it alone, he said to me earlier 2 weeks ago, you have to do it alone. And here he goes, Frederik Ruppert, with about 2 laps to go now. And he's really pushing hard now. Flat out racing, that is. Frederik Ruppert opened up a gap of daylight about 10 or 15 meters on Remy Schins. And here was the bell. And it's Frederik Ruppert all alone. And here comes Butera with another attack. Can he answer that? Down the back straight. And it seems to me he cannot. It's the Norwegian. It's Jacob Butera. All alone now. Feel completely flabbergasted. Blown apart. Jacob Butera. 150 meters to go, but Frederik Ruppert putting a fight on there. About 5 meters behind. Remy Schins has to battle Bilal Tiptapti for 3rd place. And in 5th it's Niklas Buchholz, who's trying to gain advantage. We have a look at the time, 8:07, 8:09. It's going to be hard, but it looks as if he can manage 8:15, we remember, for the Norwegian. Not quite 8:15.63, Frederik Ruppert with about 8:17, so he definitely proves that 8:17 wasn't a one-hit wonder. Gets great points in this race. Bilal Tapti comes in 3rd place, just around 8:20. 8:15.61. I have to correct myself again. I don't know what's happening today. It was Samuel Dugunda, obviously, the Ethiopian, who was in front. In this race all along. My sincere apologies for that one. Fredrik Ruppert runs 8:17:46, and Bilal Tapti 8:23:32. I'm very sorry I had to take a break, but I'm back for the 1500-meter women's final. This race is being paced by Jana Reinhardt, and we have quite a few promising names in that. Within this pack is Hannah Klein, the European indoor champion over the 3000 meters, as well as Gesa Felicitas Krause, the world bronze medalist, currently in third position, as well as the fifth at the Olympic Championships, Elise van der Elst of Belgium, under 23 silver medalist back in 2019, as well as Sara Lapalainen. She won the European Team Championships in 2021. And there is Marta Garcia, very fast lady of Spain in second place. Just gonna have a look at the time as they come through with two and a half laps to go, 2 3/4 of a lap to go. Just around 65, 64, 65. So that's about the pace we were looking for. This race is supposed to set to around 4:05-ish. If they have something in their legs, they can try to push that even faster. You can see how they're set out in one long pearl. Jana Reinert in front. She's going to exit this race right now. And then it's Juliana Gajada of Poland. The lady takes the lead. And then Marta Garcia. And on third place, that's Natalie Blomqvist from Finland. She was about 20 or 25 times Finnish champion. But it's still Solana Gaida of Poland in first place. As they're starting to come around 600-meter mark. And then it's off with them on the long sprint home. Gaida in front, then Garcia, then Blomqvist. And they come through with 500 meters to go. Just around 2:48. Gaida opens up, seems to be making pace as well. And now that race is on with Marta Garcia taking it from the start. Then it's Natalie Blomqvist. Marta Garcia, 300 meters to go for her. As they're now all inching closer. There's Nele Wessel in the pack on position 4. Hannah Klein didn't make the start. Gesa Krause there on 5th position. Here comes Blomqvist. Swinging around on the shoulder now, putting on a surge. Marta Garcia can't answer that. Nele Wessel still trying to push out. She has to go the long way around though. And then there's Sara Lapalainen. Blomqvist, Garcia. Who's gonna win this race? Nele Wessel all the way on lane throw, fighting against Gesa Krause, but she pushes on the inside. Natalie Blomqvist to take the win, just in front of Marta Garcia and Gesa Felicitas Krause, the German, in a winning time of 4:06:25. Good racing of Natalie Blomqvist there. Marta Garcia recovered well, finishing in 4:06:67, and then Gesa Felicitas Krause, who is having an incredible season after becoming a mother last year. 4:06:71 and a new personal best. Had to exit the 5K in Karlsruhe just the other week. Was struggling there a little bit, but she's back in full strength and she's back in perfect shape. Ready for European Championships in a little under of 3 weeks. This has been a rather difficult afternoon for me, to be honest. I want to apologize for quite a bit of confusion I had myself. That is also due to the fact that I only have a big screen in front of me with this very confusing TV footage, and I can't see rather clearly onto the track. I don't know what's happening myself most of the time, so I'm trying to gain a better picture. I will try to do better. I'm sorry anyway for all my confusion, and yeah, let's continue and try to get through this afternoon. And we are with the men's javelin. Leandro Ramos of Portugal, currently in second position in his fourth attempt, standing at 77.68 meters. This one looked promising again, soaring well over the 70-meter mark, but not quite there. Closer towards that 80-meter benchmark he wanted to reach. Always doing a little flick-flack there. Almost a complete backflip. This one again, 76.07, so past three been very consistent around that 77-meter mark. But he's capable of going further than that through 83 meters earlier this season, as we're having first few glimpses of the pole vault men's. Currently the bar is set at 5 meters and 37. That was the first attempt of the German, Bo Kandalita-Bere. Misses the second attempt over 5 meters and 37. By a bit, doesn't seem to have found into this competition quite yet. And we're back with Max Dening, the leader of the men's javelin. He's had an incredible season through far over 90 meters already. Not that far, obviously, but 90 meters and 20 centimeters. Improved a hell lot with that one. This one seemed alright. He's waiting for his distance as well. But no improvement for him, 77.20. So he's still at that 81.08 from his third attempt as we are moving towards the fifth round in the men's javelin. As on track, the 400-meter men's are getting ready. I suppose we won't see that again in our live footage, but those races are pretty good packed. We have some fast guys in there, at least for a smaller European standard, and some of those will want to look and try and crack that European standard. 45.40 is the benchmark, and within this first race is on lane 2 Christian Iguaquel of Belgium. Next to him on lane 3, very fast Spanish runner. No, he dropped out of the race. So on lane 3 will be Ricky Petrucciani of Switzerland. And then on lane 4, German athlete Mark Koch. Samuel Garcia will be on lane 5. He's the guy to beat here in this first heat. And then Florent Mabillier of Belgium in lane 6. Lane 5 and 6, those are the two I will try to have a look out for, while you see Raphael Holzsteppe's attempt in the men's pole vault. He misses that one, therefore is out of the race, not clearing his first height of 5 meters and 37. Not a single correct attempt for him, so Raphael Holzsteppe now out. It's Cole Walsh now in his third attempt over 5 meters 37, as the boys 400 meters are in their blocks. And they're off. All went well. And it's Ricky Petrucciani on lane 2 who is the first to try to push in towards that field. But then there's also Christian Iguaquel, the man from Belgium, and they're a small tight pack through the second corner, all close together, but it's Iguaquel in front with about 120 meters to go. Now I don't see them, so we'll see what's happening. Cole Walsh makes his last attempt, and here comes the first heat 400 meter men's, and it was Petrucciani who was managing to push through the last 100 meters and surge across Iguaquel over the last 50 to finish this first heat in 45.95 seconds. A win in his heat for the Swiss Petrucciani, and on second place was the countryman of Iguaquel, Florent Mabirier, who was capable of crossing Iguaquel, who really threw an anchor there on the last 50 meters, even being surpassed by Marc Koch, the German, finishing in 46.52, and then Iguaquel 46.72, and then last was Samuel Garcia 47.46, as we are watching the pole vault men's event, and we are watching Bokanda Litabere, the European medalist, dropping out of this event after 3 false attempts over 5 meters, 37. So he's already ready to pack up his stuff and take the trip home, as we advance to 5 meters and 47. Now it'll be all but 3 athletes who are joining this event, and this one here is Lassi Italesto, Iteletelo, with his 5th attempt. This one with no mark, stepped over the line there, managed to throw a new season's best, 77.68 in his 3rd attempt. And that was a strong throw of Max Steening over 80 meters. Just the German TV spilling that one again, and that one is his last, the 77-meter throw. We'll see what's happening. Next up is Leandro Ramos, as second 400-meter race is in position, and this one is definitely the one we want to be looking out for, with Manuel Sanders of Germany, 7th of the World Championships with the 4x4 mixed relay, 5th of the World Under-20 Championships. He is the one guy who already managed to get his Olympic qualification last season. Now here to prove that he's in shape, ready for this championship season, ready for Rome, ready for Paris. But within this pack is also a very fast guy from Belgium, Jonathan Sakor, on lane 3. He came home with the 4th place back in Tokyo with the 4x4 of Belgium. Has a lot of international experience. Very fast indeed. But let's see how this race unfolds. And we want to keep in mind, again, 45.40, the standard for the European Championships, and 45.00. That's the Olympic qualification standard. We want to look at lane 3, Jonathan Sakor. At lane 4, Manuel Sanders. This one here, that's another very talented German athlete, Jean-Paul Bredow, with a personal best of 44.96. Hasn't been quite in that shape yet this season, but managed to run a 45.70. Lionel Spitz from Switzerland. And in lane 1, as you see now, Florian Kroll. And off they go. And it's Sakor who tries to go off strong. Inching towards Manuel Sanders there as they hit the 200-meter mark, but Jean-Paul Bredoux is surging away in front. Now through the corner, you can see him already at the shoulder of Robin van der Bremden. But on the inside, it will be Sakor or Bredoux. Sanders is beaten, but it looks to me as this is Sakor, the man from Belgium, Jonathan Sakor, 45:31 to win this heat. (45:29), it's corrected down. With his first place, Jean-Paul Bredoux runs 45:48, can improve his season's best by a whole lot that way. Manuel Sanders running just under 45 seconds, 45:94, just under 46 seconds. And Robin van der Bremden, 46:18. Not as fast as some might have expected it to be. I suppose not as fast as I expected it to be as well. Jean-Paul Bredoux can be very happy with this one. Jonathan Sakor obviously taking the European standard with this one. 45:30. But he had that one already, so just confirming his great shape for Rome as we are watching Max Dehning from Germany in his final and last attempt. And this one looked good, but it dropped a little too fast, just under 80 meters in his 6th attempt as well. But he takes the win here, 81:08. Still waiting for his mark, just like all the rest, 78:69. Quite a good competition for Max Dehning here. Always just around the 80-meter mark, surpassing it once. Can be very happy with that one. And there's one round left to go for the javelin throwers. That last one didn't see any changes coming. And I, for my part, we'll have a look at the track again while we're interviewing Bukanda Litabere, because there stand 10 ladies ready to run 2 very fast laps in this oval. 800 meters, it's going to be 2 races again. This first one with a lot of interesting young German athletes in them. Laura Wilhelm, Lara Totel, Lucia Sturm, Nele Kühn. Packed with talent, packed with young, bettering in talent. But then there's also a rather fast lady from Sweden, Maria Frey, joining in this field, as well as Kadja Benkassem, the Moroccan. It's again Jana Reiner to take the pace, struggling to get in front of Nele Kuhn there on the back straight, as we're watching a little bit of pole vault. So Nele Kuhn to kind of taking the lead, but Jana Reinhardt manages to get just around her, besides her. Nele Kuhn surging along there, very fast first 200 for Nele Kuhn. Jana Reinhardt now in front, as you can see in the very back of the picture. Jana Reinhardt on the outside of Nele Kuhn, then there's Lucia Sturm, if I see that correctly. And in on third place it's Jennifer Hauke, then Frey. And then there is Ben Kassem coming around the outside on fifth position. Jana Reinhardt now out of the race. And it's Nele Kuhn to take the lead from the front, being chased by Lucia Sturm. And it's a single file down the back straight. Here comes Frey. Now on the shoulder of Jennifer Hauke, who's fighting hard against her. And here comes the kick of Jennifer Hauke. 150 meters to go. Maria Frey tries to fight back. Lucia Sturm on the inside. I can't see nothing. Trying to go around to see the picture. It's Lucia Sturm on the inside holding off Jennifer Hauke on her shoulder. And there comes Laura Wilhelm on the very outside, all the way on lane 3. Maria Frey trying to get through the inside there, trying to struggle. Little shoulder of Lucia Sturm, but it's Frey who pushes through inside lane through to take the win. 2:04.44. That's the final time. And we're watching the third attempt of Cole Walsh over 5 meters 47. And he clears that by a household. Very, very strong attempt by him. Short eye back to the 800 meter women's race. Maria Frey, 2:04.42. Lucia Sturm, very courageous run by her. 2:04.48 in second place. This is now Urho Kujanpää from Finland, taking his third attempt as well, 5 meters and 47. And he manages it quite comfortably there as well. Third attempt, 5:47, so he'll advance as well to the next height, 5 meters and 57, as the ladies' 800 meters are getting lined up there. Now, third and final attempt of Lassi Etelätelo of Finland. Whilst on the track, we can see the ladies 800 meters lining up, especially with Alexandra Bell all the way on the outside, 6th lane, 7th at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. She was 6th at the European Championships in Munich. Very good season so far, ran 2:01:38 to open it up. Personal best of 1:57.66. Next to her there are two very fast German athletes in this pack, Christina Hering, another sub 2 minutes runner, and Maite Kohlberg. She has her ticket already for Tokyo. And then we have Lena Cadisuno of France. Those the four to go under 2 minutes already, as the pace goes off rather quickly. We're watching javelin throw, for fuck's sake. Christina Hering will be the one to pick up the pace first. Hering on the inside. Then it's Tanja Spill of Germany, Maite Kohlberg on third. And then Rivi Walcott Nolan of Great Britain. She's now trying to come around Christina Hering's shoulder. Hering or Walcott Nolan. But there comes Maite Kohlberg in third position. And it's a tight race down the back straight. But it's still the same picture with 200 meters to go. Christina Hering in first position. Walcott Nolan outside. Maite Kohlberg is being locked in. And there comes the French woman, if I see that correctly, from far away. Swinging around the outside. Fuck. I'm so sorry for not having a picture. It's still Christina Hering. She's pushing through, but here comes Maite Kohlberg the last 50 meters. She did the same thing in Karlsruhe. She tried to go wide, trying to go for the win against Alexandra Bell. 2:01:10 for Maite Kohlberg, taking the win again, waiting a long time there. Didn't see any of the action happening. Couldn't have told you anything. Maite Kohlberg to win this race in front of Alexandra Bell. It was close with 200 meters to go. It was even closer in the end. 2:01:08 for Kohlberg, 2:01:12 for Bell. And we can have a little look at the already winning javelin thrower of today, Max Dening. He now in his final and last attempt. Coming way short of his season's best here today by about 10 meters. Hasn't found into this competition as he might have wanted it. But one more chance is left, and he asks for all the help he can get. Still holding the world lead there with these 90 meters and 20 today. About 9 meters short. Can he do it again? Can he throw way over 90 meters? It looked good in the beginning, but it's still the same. Again, another 77 meter throw. He makes that one incomplete. So he'll win this competition with 81:08. Stepping a little over the line there. That will be the final of the men's javelin throw. Max Dening wins in front of Lassie Teletolo and Leandro Ramos. Lassie Teletolo being able to throw another season's best, throwing over 80 meters, 81:05 in his last and final attempt. I suppose that was a rather good throw there. You might have seen it. I was trying to have a little glance at the 800 meter women's. I know you should always have a look out for what's happening on the screen, but it's been so confusing lately that I started to just watch the stadium instead. As we are now at 5 meters and 57 for the pole vault, men's pole vault, and have a quick look at the field 1,500 meter men's. And this field was the big highlight of today. It's set to go somewhere towards 3:32.50, and that means way under the Olympic standards of 3:33.50. We have a fully packed field. We remember Robert Farken ran here last year, setting his personal record, running 3:32.10 back then in a very lonely, very courageous race. He came here again, started the season with a 3:34 in Doha. He'll try to do better here. Posted it himself, little rust duster. But he'll try to go for that Olympic standard to be safe on his road to Paris. There's also Jochem Vermeulen. He already has his ticket. Then we have Tom Elmer, very good in the rankings. Romain Monet, Osama Meslek, the very fast Italian. And then there's Thomas Van Noppen. He, unfortunately, is still trying to get that ranking position to go to the Olympics, but obviously it's also a race for a European standard. If you wanted it to, that would be 3:36.00, and it's Lukas Abele to take the lead and try to make the pace. And second one is Atawi. We saw him earlier over the 800 meters. He will try to help his teammates from the OAC out to go very quick here indeed. Vermeulen in second, and then there was Meslek, the Italian, in third. Looking at the splits there, 40, 54, 88. That's fast. That's very fast. That might even be a little too fast. We're looking at a 56 if possible. You can see the single file racing boys are putting at display here. Robert Farken, last year's winner, sitting comfortably at 6th position there. Lucas Abele doing a good job trying to get the pace as fast as possible. Vermeulen in 2nd position. Then there's Ruben Verheyden, second fast Belgian runner. And then there comes the man with the blonde hairs, Robert Farken, 154. Now slowed down quite a lot over the second 400 meters. Hatawi recognized that. Trying to get the pace back on. Vermeulen now picking it up. Robert Farken was sensing it too. Getting closer to the front now. Ruben Verheyden is falling back there a little bit. Marc Totel right behind him. And there comes Charles Philibert Thibault, French runner in black, as Atawi is exiting this race. It's 400 meters to go. Robert Farken now right besides Atawi. And then Verheyden. Farken, Verheyden, Vermeulen, And then Meslek. That's the 4 to go on to the last 200 meters. And it's fast, but it's not quite fast enough, I suppose. Here comes Joachim Vermeulen. And they were pushing hard after kind of losing the pace in the second lap. Here comes Verheiden with everything they got. Really, really fast last 200. Robert Farken has to fall back there. Meslek on the outside. We have a look at the time. 3:30, 3:63. And that is just a tad too slow, unfortunately, for Joachim Ruben Verheiden, who was falling back with 500 meters to go. But then had the best kick over the last 200s. Robert Farken trying to get the pace back to where it had to be after that second lap. Was just too slow for what they wanted to do. And then it all came down to the finish. So Ruben Verheiden wins in front of Joachim Vermeulen, the two guys from Belgium. And then it was Rafael Palic of Austria to take the third place. And Robert Farken running 3:34.04, becoming fourth in front of his teammate Noah Baltus, 3:34.66. Five meters and 57. Three guys have cleared it already. Torben Blech, Erzu, Samsa and Urho Kuyanpe. 4 still trying. Now in their second attempt, Pedro Buraro of Portugal. Trying to clear those 5 meters 57. But wasn't anywhere near that. Couldn't roll himself up fast enough. The Portuguese. Now this is Oleg Zernickel of Germany. He as well with this second attempt. Taking a long time there. But now it's time. Will look technical, and he does a great job there, soaring way over those 5 meters 57. Brilliant jump, and he'll advance. And next up will be Menno Vloen of the Netherlands to try and follow Senical into that next height. Nope, next up will be Cole Walsh. As in the background, the men's 5,000 meter race has started, which is a very interesting race himself. It'll be a race for the European standard for most of the German runners. Maximilian Torwitt within this pack, as well as Aaron Bienenfeld and Florian Brem. Very competitive 5,000 meter field in Germany at the moment, 13:20. That's the norm they have to be, but it's not just a standard, it's a competition within these folks, since you have to be one of the 3 fastest guys to run under that European standard. So this race is set to be paced to around 1380, 1320. We're looking at something about 239, 240 thousandths, 239, 240 Ks. It's being paced by Tim Assman. But there's quite a few interesting athletes within this field, as we are seeing the final of the 800 meters. Here, Mighty Kohlberg pushing through. Christina Herring having to fall back there. Alexander Bell was trying to get there, just couldn't do it. Mighty Kohlberg taking the win, as the 500 meters are on the way, and we are seeing Menno Vloen of the Netherlands. Elsan Bibic of Serbia is well on the way of the 5,000 as well. He won the European Team Championships last year in Tromsø. Once came home with a bronze medal at European Under-23 Championships. We'll see how he'll get into this race. And then there's also Sebastian Frey, promising Austrian athlete, running for the OAC, the European team of the On Athletics Club. And it's Tim Assman, the pace of 2:40, 2:61, so just a little bit short of what they wanted to have. We have Adisu Girma in this race as well, now overtaking Assman, sensing that the pace was just a little too slow. Bibic sitting comfortably in 3rd position there. As we just saw Pedro Burraro exiting this competition, couldn't manage to surpass 5 meters 57, failed his 3rd attempt, he's out. Therefore it's just Cole Walsh who has one more chance to advance to 5 meters and 67. Just having a little look what's happening over the 5,000 meters. I'm seeing Ali Abdilmana right in front there, behind the pacemakers, Girma and Assman, who are taking turns and trying to keep this race as fast as possible. We hit the 2,000 meter mark. 4:20 blank. So we're back on track, and Now coming around Girma is Dever Bienfeld, another German, who obviously has his own quest here today. Now also in the picture, so we have Asman making the pace, then Bienfeld, then Girma, then there is Abdilmana, and in the New Balance dress of black and white, Maximilian Torvet. And they're running in a single file now. The question is, where's the third German? Where's Florian Brem? Sitting at the back of the field, second last at the moment. In front, same the picture as always. Asman, Girma, then Bienfeld, Sebastian Frey of Austria, then Torvet, who clearly, you can see it now, is focusing on Bienfeld. Those two are racing it out here, flat out racing for a ticket to Rome. There's not much time left. Last chance will be next week in Brussels for anyone who can't manage here or anyone who wants to have a rebound. Now the pace has gone and it's just Bienfeld, Abdilmana, Torvet, Frey, who are racing it out in the front. In the yellow dress, I suppose that's Joseph Wickfield of Great Britain, if I saw that correctly. And here comes the long, tall figure in the Nike dress. That's Elsan Bibic, the Serbian. At the shoulder of Bienfeld now, taking the pace. He as well will want to try and run that European standard himself. Has it cracked already, but wants to have another fast time for the Olympic Championships. And the man in the yellow dress, that's Thomas Farhart, not Wickfield, of Canada. Currently personal record at 13:31. Now cruising at a pace well under that. As we're coming through 3,000 meters, just in about 200 meter, 3,000 meter mark. So we have another little look at what the pace is looking like. Elsan Bibic in the front, then Farhart, then there is Sebastian Frey, Adisu Girma sitting comfortably there as well, so he didn't want to make any pace. He was just taking control. 8:08, that's the time we went through, so a lot faster now, that second kilometer, as Thomas Farhart is taking off in front, and we see Marie-Laurence Jungfleisch in her first attempt over 1 meter and 82. Third kilometer really picking up his pace. The Germans are struggling to catch up. So it's the Canadian Farhart, then Ali Abdilmana of Ethiopia, and then Adisu Girma. He as well is from Ethiopia. This is Oleg Zernickel in his first attempt over 5 meters and 72. It seems to me as if it's an older attempt we just get to see from German television. But I'd rather focus on the 5,000 meters because Thomas Farad is really putting his foot down there, pushing, dropping the pace inch by inch as they are starting to approach the last kilometer. This is so special and so relevant 4th kilometer they're in right now, and Thomas Farad is really doing a great job to try and not to drop the pace, but rather increase, trying to push towards those 13:15. Sebastian Frey, the only one to be able to follow Abdilmana and Farad there in the front. Then there's a little gap, and then there is the rest. If I see that correctly, Maximilian Torwitt has exited the race. He's not in the pack anymore. But Aaron Bienenfeld and Florian Brem, who is just soaring now, trying to close the gap to Bienenfeld as they open up a little chasers group all together with Bibic about 5 meters behind the 4 runners in the front. This is Torben Blech, the German pole vaulter, now in his first attempt over 5 meters and 72. As we have entered the very last K of that 5,000 meter race. Pace has been dropping a little bit since Thomas Farad was getting tired, but here comes Abdilmana with Frey right at his shoulder. And then there's also Morgan Le Guen of Switzerland, another OAC runner, who's been trailing behind Sebastian Frey every step of the way. And then it's Bienenfeld, the German, who was taking up the task with 2 laps to go to close that gap to the front. But he is having Florian Brem right at his calves. Brem literally trailing Bienenfeld just as Le Guen is trailing Sebastian Frey. Torben Blech missing that first attempt, and we're back with the picture on the 5,000 meters. Sebastian Frey now has taken the lead. We're hitting the bell at around 12, 21, 22. So the pace has been dropping steadily after Thomas Farad was getting tired, but he stuck around in the front pack, now in 4th position. And here comes Abdilmana. Can Frey answer to the attack of the Ethiopian? Or might it be Le Guen who can take this win home? But here is a long stride of Sebastian Frey. Florian Brem has overpassed Aaron Bienenfeld in the backfield. Abdilmana or Frey? That's the question with 200 meters to go. Here comes Thomas Farad again. Taking a little time off from pacing works, now back in the picture. Frey or Abdilmana. And then there will be the question of the time as well. Abdilmana now with the best kick, but here comes Thomas Farad on the inside. Thomas Frey looks very tight. Florian Brem surging from the back. And Morgan Le Guen is pushing through. Here's Thomas Frey on the inside to take the win, 13:22.95 on the last 3 or 4 meters to overtake Ali Abdilmana. Good running by Thomas Farad, the Canadian. Put in a lot of effort to keep that pace up, even though it was slipping in the middle. Trying even to get back to that 13:15 pace. And then just playing his energy very well for that last lap. Great running. Beating Ali Abdilmana just by a tad bit of a second there. Sebastian Frey, he tried it. He tried it with 450, 500 meters to go, but he didn't have the strength down the last straight. And Florian Brem a little further back, the one to really play his energy the best. Running a bit under 13:30, I suppose. Obviously, that won't make him all too happy, but at least he won against Ara Bienenfeld in this race, against the other German in this very tight and very competitive German 5,000 meter field. It is obviously not a global standard, and it might not be internationally competitive, but they're fighting against each other, and that's a start. While I'm waiting for official times myself, I only have the official time of Fahrrad 13:22:93. After that, it went a little bit silent, and I suppose the German TV has ended his broadcasting as well, so we won't even be able to see the final of the men's pole vault. Still 4 athletes in that competition, and then there was a whole lot of women's high jump left to go, but they might come back for us, but I can't promise you anything. This is the moment for me to try and say sorry to you guys as well. And again, I was not very happy myself with my commentary today. And I'm very, very sorry for the somewhat confusing pictures we got. I didn't have no control over that. I can't see inside the brains of German TV broadcasters and how they're trying to present track and field. But I was happy to still be able to try and guide you through this afternoon as good as I could. And we are getting towards the end of this 59th International Pfingstsportfest in Rehlingen. It was a very turbulent day, not just within the competitions, but also weather-wise. We went from thunderstorms to drizzle rain to sunshine in the afternoon, and we especially went from one picture to the next in our broadcast. Yet it still was a great track and field event. We had some great performances over the 1,500 meters. We had a very courageous run over the 5,000 meters and 3,000 meter steeplechase. We had some struggling javelin throwers, obviously due to the conditions, as well as an interesting high jump event. And I'm expecting to have an even more interesting women's high jump event anytime soon, but we might actually get back to that now that they cut off their live broadcasting. I might be able to stay with you guys for the women's high jump. If we want to continue, here in the picture, Thomas Farhat, in the background at least, winner of this race. Maximilian Torwitt, whom I didn't see in the end. I think did not finish here. Let's have a look. I have the official timings. Ali Abdelmama runs 13:23:02. Morgan Le Guin 13:24:16. Sebastian Frey finishes in a strong 13:24:58. Florian Brem can take home 13:25:71. Adisu Girma with 13:27:28. Aaron Bienenfeld has finished in 13:31:30. He really putting a lot of work in there to try to chase the leading pack. Maybe that has taken his toll on him in the end. And then there was Santiago Cartofe, 13:31:78, and the rest you can find online as we see the final talk of German TV. I think, I'm not quite sure what the rest of them but we'll see. I don't know what the... Jesus, I'm sorry. Alright guys, I think we're just going to end it here. I don't think we get any more pictures. I just asked my guys from the back. So I thank you all for listening as good as you could and watching as good as you could. I am again very sorry for the pictures and the confusion that came along with it. I hope you still had a pleasant afternoon, and I say goodbye. Thank you.